Hi, boys and girls. This morning we are continuing our lesson on graphing, and we're going to continue answering the essential question, in what ways can we represent and interpret data? Today we're going to look at representing and interpreting data on a line plot. Now at this time, you might want to go ahead and take out your paper and prepare it to take your 2-column notes. You'll want to make sure that you're drawing your line about 3 fingers space from the margin on the left. And make sure that whatever text you see here, you're copying down in your notebook as well. We're going to start with some vocabulary. A line plot is a graph that uses dots or X's to show frequency along a number line. Now remember, frequency is how often or how many times something happens. A line plot is sometimes also called a dot plot, and line plots are only used for numerical data. So we would not use a line plot to represent things like favorite color or favorite food. But we might use a line plot to talk about to represent data that pertains to things like how many siblings you have, or how many pets you have, or how many books you've read. Now we're going to look at an example. Our question is, how many hours do you spend reading each week? And then we have our data points. Below, you'll see that we have a number line. You'll want to draw your own number line in your notebook. And the first thing we need to do is label our number line. We're going to start with the lowest term that we have, which is 0. We're going to end with the highest data point that we have, which is 8. Now we could keep going past 8 if we wanted to, but there's really no need to. Now we're going to use our data points, and we're going to put a dot or an X above each number. So the first number I have is 0. So I'm going to put a dot above 0, and then I'm going to check off 0 or scratch it out to know that I've already used that data point. The next one is 1. 5, 2, 3, another 1, so that dot will just go above the existing dot, 2, 1, 4, 3, another 3, 5, 8, 2, 1, 4, 2, 5, 7, and 2. So like a bar graph, we can use the height of each column of dots or X's to help us visually interpret the data. So I can tell that 2 has the most dots, or the highest column, and that's going to tell me that 2 was the most frequent answer. Now we're going to try another practice. The first thing I want you to do is pause and try and draw the number line and the line plot on your own. Now we're going to start labeling. Our lowest term is 0, and our highest term is 5, so we'll stop at 5. And now I can start putting my data on the line plot. And this is what your line plot should look like. The next question says, how many people were surveyed in all? This question is asking me how many people were surveyed or how many people did I get an answer from. And I can either count the data points or I can count the dots. There were 4 people that had 0 pets, 3 that had 1, 6 that had 2, 4 that had 3, 1 that had 4, and 1 that had 5. And I'm going to add all of these together. Or I could simply count. There were 19 people surveyed in all. Again, make sure you're writing these practice questions and answers down in your notes. The next question says, how many people have at least 2 pets? Now, when we look at this term, at least 2, that means 2 or more. So we're going to include the people that had 2 pets, 3 pets, 4 pets, and 5 pets, because we want 2 or more. There were 6 people with 2 pets, 4 people with 3, 1 person with 4, and 1 person with 5. When I add all those together, there were 12 people that had at least 2 pets. The next question asks, how many people have no pets? Now, this term, no pets, means 0 pets. And we know from our data and from counting the dots on our line plot that we had 4 people surveyed who have no pets at all. The next question says, how many people have fewer than 4 pets? Now, this fewer than is another way of saying less than. So we want to know how many people have fewer or less than 4 pets. That means 0 pets, 1 pet, 2 pets, or 3 pets. There were 4 people with 0, 3 people with 1, 6 people with 2, and 4 people with 3. That's going to add up to 17 people with fewer than 4 pets. This last question says, how many more people have 2 pets than no pets? So this question is asking us for the difference between the number of people that have 2 pets and no pets. There were 6 people that had 2 pets. Difference means subtract. And there were 4 people who had no pets. And when I subtract 6 minus 4, I get 2. So there were 2 more people that had 2 pets than the number of people who had no pets at all. I hope you've enjoyed learning how to represent and interpret data using a line plot.